Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially advanced field command and battlefield tactics. And we continue to explore the map of Calradia for potentially interesting siege holds here. This epic siege series, at this stage, this is a side branch of a side branch. It's actually a side branch of the 300 series, where I've got this incredibly powerful army here of about 40 companions and about 300 very powerful troops. And we're looking for difficult keeps to siege, not just siege, but to defend. So we've taken a couple of castles here that are Vlandian castles. I haven't actually done a Vlandian castle siege defense for the channel. In the past, in my campaign, I've had some epic ones, and the Vlandians are very quick to respond here. So Calais Castle here, we have a very small militia and our own force that were somewhat injured from taking this castle. And almost immediately they're coming here. They were probably coming to defend the city, but since they've lost it, I imagine they're going to besiege this city, which is just fine with us. This castle has one of the most unique layouts of any castle I've seen so far, right? I like to wander around the castle and kind of take a look at it. Look at this shit. Yeah, right, we're gonna marry off Gweth, one of the most murderous companions in our army, to this dipshit Castor. What the fuck is he wearing? Like a barmaid's dress there? I can't tell what this guy is, but we're not about to do that shit. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Marriage. We're going to use Gweth here to massacre this force of Vlandians. Over 2,000 Vlandians here. This certainly qualifies as epic siege. And this entire series, what we're looking for, and it's getting larger, it looks like, what we're looking for is savage, interesting siege defenses. I'm essentially on a mission to find, as usual, the Vlandians are pouring in here. Our late game campaign, the enemy's just rabid with forces here. But we're looking for exactly this kind of siege, in fact. And now it's almost 3,000, where the enemy brings forth a huge, huge amount of troops, of huge, tough troops. And then we try to beat them back using tactics, strategy, and our elite units here. Arthobald, that's the king. Did I read 238 sharpshooters that fucking guy has? It seemed like he had 90 banner knights too. I couldn't get a real close look there. So we'll make sure that we have our javelin stacks here. We do. Okay, that's all good to go. I like to have extra javelins for siege defense. Now we're outnumbered almost 5-1 here. We've got a full arsenal of siege weapons, and the enemy looks like they're trying to build siege. Okay, that's our other Vlandian castles under siege. So it didn't take long for us to get action. I think that said Battania is sieging our other castle. So this may be back-to-back episodes. And all of these I just narrate live, and I kind of... I basically am discarding any sieges where we get our asses kicked or that just aren't that interesting. But this has potential to be very interesting with this very unique castle. I would actually call this two castles. And if you've never seen this map before, this is indeed one of the most unique castle maps in all of Calradia. It's a place I would love to visit, like as a tourist. It looks really cool. So the enemy has a siege tower and probably ladders. I didn't see it. They built 2 siege towers. So they got ladders over here. So this keep is divided by this little bridge. And that bridge basically makes this kind of like a two keep siege, right? There's basically the left side over here and then this right side over here. So what I'm planning on doing here, of course we're going to use our brain here, we're not just going to try to fend off the enemy with our brawn only, is I'm planning on minimizing our forces over here, effectively having a hard time stretching these archers out. So I got the 5th Corps here, and I want to use an infantry division to try to block this stairway here. There's only 2 stairways to the other side, and what I want to try to do is basically micromanage the side on the left, and this side on the right I want to have kind of a fire and forget it decent defense. So I've got this, let's see, this is the 3rd Infantry. We'll put them in a square right on this ramp, and I think with archer support there, the enemy's going to have a hard time breaking through that, at least quickly. That'll allow us to focus on this left side, which is where the gate is. Anytime you have the gate, that should always be your primary concern in a castle defense, because it's wide enough for the enemy just to pour through like a fucking, like a huge tidal wave. If you defend the other side, you'll just get eaten up and surrounded by the enemy coming through the gate. So I like these. These are great looking. I can stretch the 7th out. Look at that, how beautiful that is. I spread them out so all these archers are kind of 4 or 5 feet from each other. I kind of want them close enough to each other to help each other with melee in case they get attacked. But I want them to have good line of sight. And I have the 8th Corps here. This is our elite units. You can see there's like 15 companions in there. And I want them spread out, maybe just not quite that far. I can actually see there's guys stuck in that tower there. I can actually see my own character on a horse. He's on a horse on the wall there. That's maybe not suboptimal. All right, so we have the 4th archers over here that's going to support. Basically, I want crossfire from these 2 different archers. Of course, you see the 8th Corps here will also be able to shoot the enemy on the ramp there. If they're coming on the bridge there. If they're coming from the other side of this castle, these guys, if I can get in position right, fuck. These guys here, it's giving me a hard time. I think those guys will be able to shoot a lot of the guys coming on the ramp from the other direction. Keep calling it a ramp, the bridge. And that'll allow us, I think, kind of a multi-way defense. I'm not thrilled about how tightly compact these guys are. We're gaining levels here. The system's not letting me spread out those guys quite like I want. And what I'm going to do here, I'm riding my horse. This is unusual in Siege, but it's such a wide map here. I want to ride my horse over here, make sure that these guys are kind of taken care of. It's like babysitting, you know, 12 kids, and you want to make sure that these kids aren't choking each other out or huffing paint or glue, whatever the fuck eating Tide Pods or whatever the fuck they do these days. I want to make sure that these guys are okay. So this square looks beautiful. It's being pounded with, it looks like bolts from these fucks. I can whittle down a few of them, but I'm not gonna be able to focus on these guys. I'm not gonna have time to stay here. I just kind of have to hope that this square holds the fort here while we get back to the other side. The other side, there's a siege tower there. I'm going to ride my horse and get back over there, and we're going to focus on that. I'm going to keep these guys in the back of my mind, though. This is the 5th and the 3rd Corps. I like to tell myself that just for memory's sake. We might be able to jam up this doorway if the enemy's surging through the right side here, but the left side of the keep, this castle here, is the one we're going to defend as a primary castle. We got up there, that's a fire catapult. I'd love to destroy this siege tower here. We'll do our best to destroy this siege tower. Sometimes you'll see me in these castle defenses intentionally not destroy a siege tower because it fucks with the AI. But we're gonna give this a shot here. We're gonna try to destroy this siege tower. I don't know if I can get a good angle on it here, but if we could destroy this siege tower, of course, it'll force the enemy to use the main gate only. And that'll pay huge dividends, right? We just did a major fucking damage to it. These exploding catapults do massive damage to siege. I think 1 or 2 more hits on this fucker and it'll be down. God damn it. Just like taking a piss when you're drunk, man. Sometimes you overshoot the mark here. Alright, I don't think I can hit it now. This fucking thing, it's like out of my line of sight. Yeah, this sucks. Alright, so they're going to get a siege tower up. That's okay. You know, we relish difficulty on this. We can just consider that another tier of difficulty. I'm going to lob 1 more round in here, I think, and then we'll start doing some layups with the rest of these. The troops here, all these banner knights, it's just fucking banner knights as far as the eye can see. We'll start lobbing these in here and killing these guys en masse. But I can't stay up here very long. That ram is quickly getting to the front door, and I'm going to have to support the troops. I don't know where else we have more of these exploding bombs. I'm kind of looking over there. It does seem like we have another catapult right above the gatehouse, so I don't have to stay here. This guy can stay here by himself on his catapult. I imagine he'll get help, actually. Speak of the devil, there's some help for him. They like to obviously have 2 people on a catapult. I'll leave those 2 where they are doing their thing. And then we will start assessing the front gate. I've got the 1st and 2nd Division, infantry divisions, ready to charge. These guys are fishing a barrel here. We've got more rocks right here. It looks like this keep is actually awesome. There's all kinds of rocks everywhere. My restless horse is running around as usual. We can blow our way through here with javelins. Of course, I have tons of archer support. right? These guys are absolutely getting raked with enfilade fire from 3 different directions, and that'll allow us into this gatehouse here, where hopefully we can throw some of these explodable bombs, throw some of these rocks down here on these fucks, and continue to do major damage here. They're almost through the gate, so we'll prepare our infantry divisions to charge. Motherfuckers look like those guys lined up to buy the new Nike shoes. There's literally thousands of people lined up to buy a fucking shoe. I don't know what that says about society, other than we remain superficial. I'm not sure that's a great thing, but it is what it is. That's exactly what the enemy looks like they're doing here. They're just pouring in, excited to get those new Nike Air Jordans or whatever the fuck they're buying these days. And we do have some exploding bombs over here. Good. These guys are firing away, but I want to use these to full effect. I think... Okay, there's nobody I can hit there. I actually don't have a good target right now. This side is pretty well waxed. I got to keep an eye on that far right side, though, right? I've got to keep an eye on the garrison over there. I've got to just occasionally look over there to see what it looks like. What I see is the enemy's pounding on the square, and I see death spam. I'm hoping that that's our archers over there lighting them up as that square holds out. A square with archer support or javelin support is definitely one of the most devastating things you can do, especially to the AI. It wouldn't work particularly well with the human. Actually, it would still work, it just wouldn't work this well. With the human, what you would need to do is micromanage it. If the human controlling the other side, you know, was attacking your square, and then they all of a sudden realized they should attack your archers, well, what you could do is you could simply, as soon as they left your square alone and charged your archers, is you would charge with your archers and then charge with your square. Break out your square into a shield wall and charge with your square, and the enemy would sandwich themselves. Alright, this is a heavy press of heavy infantry. We're going to have to join our men here in the courtyard. I've got one last lob of death, and down we go here. There's going to be hard blows in this battle. There's no doubt about that. I hear people fucking making the roaring noises of war. Our infantry's too tightly jammed up here in the gatehouse. I want these skirmishers and archers to be able to pound through the center here. It's almost like a variation of the false gap, where with this false gap what we're doing is actually drawing the enemy to the left and the right here, and then hammering them with archers and skirmishers. You see my guys just roared in and filled the gap, and a lot of those guys got flanked. And look at the death spam, right? And it's not like we have better troops. The enemy is all banner knights, sergeants, sharpshooters, etc. here. But because of the way we tactically engage there, it's a massacre, at least so far. This is a huge press of enemy troops, and they're all tier 5 and 6. Motherfuckers. That's their king, or yeah, that's their fucking king, Erdogan. Look how fast he's moving. Fuck you. I just hit him for like 300 damage before he died. Alright, it's a bit messy, but I'm watching that death spam, and it's quite green, right? The enemy's magnetized to these two different squares. These squares have just enough room between them to sort of make the enemy sort of divide between the two of them, and they're vulnerable while they're doing that, right? They're turning their backs, they're turning their sides. Our archers are raking them with fucking broadsides. Our archers up top are hitting them. I'm not sure our 8th Corps is having any effect here. The 6th we can pull back now. These guys have javelins. Yeah, these guys, I see wildlings and shit with javelins. Although the enemy is coming in here hot and heavy. Behind me here, I've got the 8th Corps, and I don't see bolts raining down from them. I see the archers across from me. They're hammering away, and that's obviously going to pay huge dividends. Those guys are beautifully positioned. Then I have the 4th archers like right here on the knoll to our left. But I don't see great line of sight here for these units here. I may reposition. Right? You want to use your maximum firepower in a situation like this. Napoleon was famous and outstanding for sighting in cannons for maximum effect. You know, whether it was late in his campaign or early on. These guys are barely shooting. Look at all those archers up there. And I was worried about that when I positioned them. So we're going to reposition here. I'm going to drag them my way. I can stop them right here. And I think more of them now will have a line of sight. I see more guys starting to shoot. It's not perfect, but at least there's arrows raining over my head. And now the enemy really is getting hit on 3 sides. These two squares are holding up beautifully. They got sharpshooters and whatnot in the gatehouse there. And I'm going to continue just to sort of help around the edges here while the rest of these ranged units work. Now this whole time, I guess the 8th Corps, I must have told them to charge. I don't remember doing that, but they're in a fine position. This whole time I'm thinking about that right side. What I don't need is 500 Vlandians pouring through this bridge. So they're down to, it looks like they're down to 3 infantry. That means that square is basically dead. I'm going to stretch the archers on a big line there and have the infantry sort of hold that other side as long as they can. But it's 3 guys, right? I know I'm going to have to send troops over there to support them. That bridge is nice and narrow, though. It reminds me of like the bridge in the Mines of Moria, right, with the Lord of the Rings. A very defensible position because the enemy can't get 20 guys across. They're going to have to come across like 2 or 3 at a time. But this is still the primary concern, right? The enemy's pouring in here. It's a massive amount of the enemy. Fucking sharpshooters and knights and vanguard and just tough fucking troops. This guy blocks 28 shots with my axe. How the fuck do you do that? How does his shield not break? I mean, it is a function of my axe being a faster axe. My axe is very, very fast, but it's not major damage. Generally, slower weapons, higher quality slower weapons are doing more damage. I prefer the fast axe because I can maneuver better. Yeah, they're starting to break through over here. This looks pretty good, though. I don't see the enemy just overwhelming these guys. There's like a scuffle here on the bridge. These archers are actually shooting, too, so they have dual purpose here. We're gonna leave this just like it is, I think. I'll try to get some supporting infantry over here if I have an opportunity, because the enemy's definitely starting to flood this right side. But I can't stay here. If I sit here and micromanage this battle and fight it out for the next 10 minutes, what'll happen is the center there, without my attention, the gate will get overrun and we'll be fucked. It won't matter at all that we're defending over here because we'll get overrun on the other side. I'm gonna have to trust these archers to defend here. Let's give them the 6th Corps. The 6th Corps, there's 10 guys. That's the skirmisher wave holding over there. It takes away a little bit of strength from our gate. You see these guys heading over there, but that's going to help that bridge hold out longer. Fuck, this is a mess now, though. See, I was away 30 seconds and it almost broke down. All right, archers charge, the 4th Corps charge, and 8th Corps. Yeah, let's hold fire and charge here. This is fucking chaos. It's a major breach. As soon as I can, I'm going to grab a unit, put them in a square, and drag them to the front gate. Try to fucking jam up this rat hole here. Considering how many troops this is, the screen is very green. The squares are probably distracting a lot of enemy forces, and of course our archers are raining down crossfire. But this is not going to last, right? Our guys are going to start breaking down in this total scrum. The Jarl's going to do some work today in this battle. There's already a giant pile of bodies at the fucking gate. Alright, so I'm actually dragging an archer corps. I've started to do this more and more in Siege. It just calls for it. I've put an archer square right at the front gate. It's archers, right? So a lot of those guys don't even have shields, but it's a big press of fat men. I mean, these guys aren't fat. You know what I mean? It's a big press of fat bodies that are going to block up the gate. And look at, it's almost silence. It's almost as soon as I did that, it got quiet. This side is definitely starting to break down. We do have, you know, some 60, 70 Battanian Fiend champs. That's going to help. But so does the enemy. I mean, they don't have Fiend champs en masse, but they have a massive amount of sharpshooters and Bannerlords, right? We just, my unit for sure of preference would be a Battanian Fiend champ, especially for Keep Siege. Confident that that gate is now jammed up at least for a minute or two. We're gonna wade in here. I like what I see here. These guys are shooting. They're protecting each other, and they're going to hold that bridge, at least for a while. That will allow me to focus on this center. I see fucking troops up on the walls there. God damn it. Let's get the 8th Corps pulled back. I got to protect my best units in case things get dire at some point. It might even be the bridge I need to pull these back for. Where's my fucking infantry? I got to get infantry jammed in this gate. These archers cannot hold the gate forever. As usual, the enemy seems to pay me no attention. Very bad decision. If I were playing me, I would send fucking 80 units on me, corner me in a fucking wall somewhere, and just fucking kill me, and then throw the head into the courtyard. I would definitely be ruthless against myself. It's a fucking scrum here. We're barely holding this line. I don't regret sending the skirmishers to the other side, though, because that other side may break down. I'm really sort of... I mean, we're out of resources here. I haven't had reinforcements yet, it seems like. If I have, I didn't notice it. I need infantry reinforcements to bottle up this gate. We're basically using our 8th Corps here in a desperate press to try to keep this gate closed. I mean, I'm the Jarl standing right in the middle of the gate. This is suboptimal, right? I got guys running up and fucking attacking me. Fortunately, my health is in very good shape. The screen is very green. Hey, what's happening over there? That looks like reinforcements. It is the 5th Corps, the 5th Archers. Let's back these guys up. I think there's another division there. What is that, infantry? It looks like it's the 3rd. All right, so the 3rd, that was the division that's over there, got massive reinforcements. I don't know what to do with them. I can't tell what's going on. So when in doubt, charge. That should be like a bumper sticker. They're not going to run out of the castle over there. I just want them attacking. I don't want them standing still. I want them charging. Now that we can get these other archers set up here, we might be able to kite a little bit with a square. We do have a decent amount of infantry and archers here in the 8th Corps. I've got nasty crossfire on the enemy here. I mean, I've allowed this breach kind of, but I think... Yeah, I see you coming for me, dude. Don't worry, I'm used to it. We've got such good crossfire here that I'm actually okay with the breach here temporarily. I know I can pull that other archer division over from the other side. This might be a bit much. God, the enemy's really storming in. But I also hear arrows absolutely machine gunning down here. Those guys on the wall, those 60 guys on the wall, are doing major damage. And every time I look up there, of course, they're just firing away. We also have this other archer division behind us here. They're starting to get overrun a bit. In fact, it's looking very messy. Let's get this 3rd Corps over here. The good news is the enemy's down to middle tier troops. They don't have any more banner knights. We've already eliminated all those. All right, let's get this square towards the front gate. That way we can finish off this current big wave. Try to block the gate for the next wave and keep an eye on that bridge. It's a question of how many guys are going to pour over that bridge. Right now, the concern is this gate. There's a massive amount of troops pouring through the gate. I see they're attacking the guys on the wall still. Yeah, let's punch this guy. Let's do a little taekwondo, motherfucker. It would be badass if there was some hand-to-hand skills you could learn. I punched him for 2. Not real effective. Alright, those archers are ripping it. The archers on the wall are ripping it. Let's give these guys a better crossfire angle. You want your archers opposite. I've got those guys now opposite of the guys in the courtyard, and they're just going to be able to shoot around the edges of this square. And look at the death span, right? It's every once in a while I'll glance up there, and it's fucking 90% green. Granted, at this stage we have better units, right? But that's because we've manipulated... God damn it, they're pouring in on this side now, too. You know, we've gotten ourselves to this stage of the battle. We've set up tactically a death trap multiple times, and we've gotten ourselves in this position to dominate. The Jarl's more than happy to fucking take on Levy crossbow. Come and get some, fellas. Alright, let's get these archers spread back. They just cheered? Does that mean... Yeah, it is. The enemy is fleeing. You have won the battle. Well, that was easier than I expected. I expected this to be a bit more of a grueling castle siege. Granted, that wasn't a walk in the park, right? We had to navigate there. We had to use a lot of tactics. We had to kick some guys and rip some arms off. But ultimately, this is an incredibly fun castle siege. 3,500 Vlandians sent packing. Fuck you. And victory is ours, right? This mound of fucking Vlandians. Maybe that's why the mound is so high. They keep burying the fucking defeated there. These archers up here are still shooting the guys trying to retreat. Smoking these guys in the back. It's fucking beautiful. And 220 losses, right? This is amazing KDR rate. I know that guys out there are doing keep sieges that are better than this. We'll seek to improve, right? We're always seeking to improve. The more of these I do, the better we'll get. And, you know, the main function of this is entertainment, right? We're going to... Are you not entertained? Right? We will emulate some Russell Crowe. And we will also, obviously, continue to work tactics. Look at the Battanian Fiend Champs. 900 kills. So those guys killed a third of the fucking troops that came through the gate. But ultimately, this is success, right? This is a massively fun castle defense here. Castle defenses are very popular. And look at the enemy. They had plenty of sharpshooters, right? We put down 240 sharpshooters, 90 banner knights. That one army alone did have 90 banner knights. More banner knights here. Eat the dirt. I mean, you could see, anybody watching the battle, you could tell the enemy had loads of tough troops. And all of them ended up underneath our feet here, adding to this this giant burial mound. Come with us, Vlandia. Actually, in my campaign, I just release everybody, especially for this side branch of castle defenses. These are truly exhibitions. This does not matter for the campaign I'm in. I apologize if that aggravates people, but this is ultimately entertainment, right? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? This is a gladiator, great stuff. So I'm starting to include this a few more. Look at these beautiful things. Legendary heavy bolts. I think that's the best crossbow bolt you can get in the game. And we do have a couple crossbow units. I don't know if I can find them, but people have asked to see the loot more often at the end of epic battles. I guess they're just kind of curious, you know, what a battle of 3,000 or 4,000 troops, what kind of loot you get. And sometimes you get really nice shit. So we'll put these heavy bolts to use, makes our army even stronger, and that'll allow you know, this gal here even more damage with their crossbow. All right, well, that concludes this epic siege. We've got, it sounds like there's another castle under siege, but we're gonna seek sieges. I'm gonna look for interesting castles to defend. We're gonna have hopefully challenging situations to show you, and whatever is worth saving and recording, I'll load them up here, friends. So let me know what you think of this Castle Siege series. Please comment and like and all that kind of good stuff. And I will see you, friends, next time.